Good evening, everybody. I wanted to take a moment and share some knowledge with you about how to use iReal Pro. iReal Pro is one of my favorite apps that you can use to sing along with. It's a really great thing to use during times like this when you can't play with real people, but you still want to workshop or what do you call it, shed some tunes. I really like this because you can not only pick from a really wide variety of songs, but you can also control a lot of features, including what key you're singing the song in, including what tempo you play it at, including what feel you play it at. So I'm going to use a song called On the Street Where You Live from My Fair Lady as like an example, because this is a tune that most people are familiar with in like the musical theater vein. I've sung it as like a bossa. I've also sung it as a swing. And so it's a really fun tune to kind of exemplify the capacity of this program. So I'm going to turn my camera around and just kind of show you what we're working with. So I'm using it on my iPad, which is super old. This is from like 2012. Maybe 14. But basically, just to kind of give you a tour of the app. So if you go back to the home screen, the icon looks like this. You select it and it opens up to whatever last song you were on. But you can, this is kind of like the home setting here. These are all the playlists I've come up with. And you can add to these in a way that I will show you later. But basically, I've built a bunch of my own playlists, including songs I know. There's also like the songs that are in my book. And you'll notice that some of these tunes are, and some of these charts are actually good enough to be able to play with a band. Now this is kind of a big list, so I'm going to go ahead and search that song that I was just on the street. There we go. And let's just see what 150 in G feels like real quick. It's going to give us a count off, and it's just going to start at the top. So that's one setting. It feels like a good key for me. It's probably left over from the last time I tried to play it. We could play it even slower. So I open up the tempo and then I take it down. So if I wanted to play it nice and slow, it would go like this. Ooh, and if you only pause it, it will actually just play from the same spot. But let's go from the top again. So I hit stop. Now I go play. Count off again. Now this is a very nice swing and feel. But like I said, I've liked to do this as a bossa. So you can see there are all these different feels in just jazz that you can play. You can also look in Latin. You can also do pop. So if we wanted to play this as a disco, see how it kind of readjusts the tempo for the feel. I don't know why you'd want to do this as a disco, but geez. You sure could. What's fun about these different things you can do is it can open up all kinds of possibilities for different renditions of tunes. So maybe you'd want to do this song as a disco. I don't know. I could also do it as a samba. See how fast it's going to go now? Right? Any opinions from anyone on what feel we go with? I see we got some people watching. If not, okay, Siri thought I was talking to her. Go away, Siri. Oh my God, stop. Okay. Siri was like, The Simpsons! Girl, what are you talking about? Anyway, so I'm just going to pick a feel. Unless Melody or Jana or Mary have an opinion on what we should try and play this as. But what's really cool is as you look at this chart, it's following the form of the song. it's also showing the chords. So if you're like wanting to practice piano or still trying to kind of conceptualize what different chord voicings are, you can kind of look at that and it can kind of help connect the dots for you. I know I've been trying to get more familiar with my keyboard lately, and it's a really great tool for doing that. This is a chart that I actually made. You can tell that like the bar lines are a little smaller. What I really like about iReal Pro is you can actually edit the chart that's in there. Like it actually comes with some pre-made, but you can edit it yourself. So I actually took a lead sheet and I put it in here, and then I compacted some sections of the song because I wanted it all to fit really nicely. And I didn't feel like it needed all the space that it had. Some piano players might contest this format choice. They might say, oh, it's a little hard to read, blah, blah, blah. But I was just looking for aesthetic, and I felt that like, oh, it fits nicely, neatly on one page, and, you know, the bridge doesn't need double wide measures, bars. So you're able to edit things. Let's go back into the edit mode real quick, and I can just show you some things. So say that I wanted to change some of the voicings. I actually don't know a lot about music theory, so I'm not going to propose any actual changes here, but you can delete and add things. Say that I wanted to not save what I just did, and I don't. I'm going to go don't save. But you can also duplicate. So say that you like the lead sheet that you first see in here, but you want to make some edits to it. You can duplicate it, and then you can start editing the duplicate. And that way you can do that. You can also make a new song, which is super cool. You can just do like a totally blank page, or you can use a kind of prescribed song format, whether it's a longer form or whatever, or an AABA, which is really common for jazz tunes. So that's maybe another tutorial. I could do it another time. But let's go ahead and pick a feel for this tune. What should we do? That samba felt kind of good. Let's see what it feels like as a bossa, as I've liked to do it in the past. 140. That feels nice. So I know what key it's in because I've been hearing it for the last few minutes, but I also might not have been listening to it before, and I might want to get a bit of a lead in. So what you can do is you can hold your finger on a measure, and it'll give you the count off, and it'll start from there, which is super cool. And maybe I wanted to go from like the last 8, which is a pretty common thing to do. So let's go ahead and do that. So if I were playing with a band, they might give me this lead in, and I can hear my key, and I know what pace we're at and all that stuff. I have often walked down this street before, but the pavement's always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once am I several stories high, knowing I'm on that street where you live. Taking the first ending, love it. Are there lilac trees in the heart of town? Can you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on that street where you live. And oh, that towering feeling, just to know somehow you are near. And see, even though the measures are shorter, it still goes at the same pace. That overtowering feeling that any second you might suddenly appear. People stop and stare, oh, but they don't bother me, for there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I don't care if I can be here on that street where you live. See up in this top corner? That tells you how many times you've gone through the tune. So I guess when I started at the end, it counted as 1. So then it was just on 2 of 3. Right now I've got it set to play 3 times. See here at the bottom, set to play 3 times. So now it's on the final run through. And shoot, why don't we just scat? That sounds fun. That's one of the best things about shedding a song. All right, let's see. And the towering feeling just to know somehow that you, my dear, are near. That overpowering feeling that any second you might suddenly appear. Oh, people stop and stare, but they don't bother me, 'cause there is no one else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I don't care if I can be here on that street where you live. It'll manufacture a little ending here. Nice. So yeah, that's on the street where you live. I love this app. It's super cool. And again, the fact that you can like create songs inside the app means that you can literally write a song and put the chords in here if you want to. You can also take your favorite pop songs and put them in here. One of my favorite things to do is to look up what different songs other users have already created in a thing called forums, which I'm going to turn the camera around and show you now. And then I'll show you a song that I actually put in here myself from like a guitar tabs chart, right? And it's Valerie. So I'll do that and I'll sing that for you later in a minute. I have to take a sip of my Juan. I hope y'all are doing good. Jennifer Grimm, I am so glad that you love this app. I hope you use it. And it's awesome. And yeah, love it too. Okay. I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you what I'm working with. Okay. So I go to songs I know. So I go back to the playlist I was on. And if you look back at the bottom here, it says forums. And in forums, you can search all kinds of stuff. Say I wanted to search, it says Google custom search, which is a little grandiose. It's really just searching within the app. But say I wanted to look at Stevie Wonder songs. What a great idea. I'm going to type that in here, and it'll show me what they have already in here for Stevie Wonder songs. It actually does look just like a Google search, except they're all iReal profiles. So, iReal Pro files. And you can see that this app's actually been around for a long time, so people have been contributing to this stuff for a while. Not all the charts are always the best, so it's always good, as any singer should do, to look through your chart. As great as it would be to just like be able to trust every single piece of music that you buy, not every piece is A, easy to read, B, accurate. Like you can see, there's a lot of capability in here. So you got like codas and all kinds of stuff. And sometimes one of the challenges with these charts is they're a little hard to read. So like if I were making this chart, I would probably stretch this or have this be on its own line and then start the whole form here, right? So let me just go ahead and edit it. So I'm going to go ahead and do some editing. Derp derp derp. I can't remember how to do things. You know what? I'm not going to edit things right now because I don't remember how to do all of it. But if I wanted to edit this, I could. And there's a way to push things. Do you do that? Oh, there you go. So now the whole song starts here. And so you can just, anyone reading this chart could see, oh, there's the intro, and now there's A and B, as opposed to reading it all going halfway through. You can also change the size of letters, chord symbols, by hitting this, small or narrow, or small or not small. I don't know what the S and the N is for, but that way it makes it easier to read. Because sometimes it's nice to have the big block ones, but sometimes it needs to take up a little less space. So there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do in here. I'm going to not save because I haven't even downloaded these to my thing. But if I wanted to, oh, I must already own that one. That's why it's probably in there. But if I wanted to download it, I would just go back to forums. I would click the song. Oh, look at that. By clicking on the song, it joins your thing. That's cool. I would expect that just by clicking all of the songs, you can do that, which I'm sure it can. And I've probably actually already done that. But yeah, so say that I've got this song here and I want to add it to a playlist. I can do that here by going add to playlist. And I've got all my different playlists here. I can also create a new one. Or I can just add it to one. I can also share it. Oh my God, I can share it. I can email a PDF of it to myself. I could also email a iReal Pro version of the chart to myself that I could then edit on my phone. One of the challenges of this app is that it's pretty device specific. So if you want to like edit it from if you have a chart that you edited on your iPad, you can't then look at that chart on your phone just by opening the app. Like each device has its own thing. So if you are making big changes to charts that you want to like maintain and say like keep in your book, for example, you're going to want to like email those to yourselves and like keep a paper copy on your device or send the iReal Pro formats to yourself. Now I'm going to go back to my playlists. I've got Amy Winehouse on here, and God, she's just been in my brain lately. And this is Valerie. You can see it's called Valerie 1 because I edited this one to look a certain way. There's also another version of this one in my Songs I Know app or playlist. And it looks much different. Not a bunch different. But if anyone here knows the song Valerie, it's super repetitive. I basically looked at a guitar tabs chart, and you know how those like have like the lyrics and they have like a chord letter above every so many words, and sometimes you can have to like piece out like when exactly the chord falls. I basically did that for this song, and thankfully this is a very straightforward song. The chords just hit on the one of every chorus, or sorry, of every bar. But it works. And so I'm going to go ahead and sing this song for you guys. Again, it's a really repetitive song, so I am going to sing it for you looking at the chart, because you'll notice how the format really is dependent on like where it needs to go. It's a really simple song, but just like to follow the form is sometimes a little complicated. So here we go. I'll give myself a little plan. That's not doing what I want it to do. Huh. Oh, funny, it went up to the DS. Also, I don't think this is the feel that we want. That doesn't feel like Valerie. Let's see. I have no idea what virtual funk is. What do we want it to feel like? Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. So it probably needs to be faster than this. That's slightly too virtual punk for me, or whatever that is. Glam funk. Let's try that. Just a little bit slower. Oh, God. That sounds kind of tacky, but it actually kind of works. And this is the intro, so I actually don't need a lead-in, like I said. Y'all ready? Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think of all the things like what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since you come home, well, my body's been a mess. I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Well, why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. Valerie. Valerie, woo. Now did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer? Whoa. If you didn't catch a tan, hope you find the right man who'll fix it for ya. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine? You were dodging all the time. Are you still dizzy? Since you come home, well, my body's been a mess. I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, 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 woo. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of other things like what you're doing in my head. I paint this picture. Since you come home, well, my body's been a mess. I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come over, Valerie? Valerie. Valerie. Valerie, ooh, Valerie, Valerie, why don't you come on over, Valerie, Valerie, why don't you come over, Valerie? See, if I were to make this chart again, I would throw in a nice cute ending, chord, but, that works just fine. So as you see, like, the chords to it are really simple, but, like, this song's got, like, a first verse, a second double verse, and then you go back to the first verse, and then repeating the last chorus. So it's just kind of a funny one to, like, write out, but there it is. So there's everything you need to know. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope y'all are doing good. I miss seeing your faces. But, music and wine always keep a girl nice and cozy. So I'm appreciating some downtime. I hope y'all are doing good. Feel free to watch this video from the top. It's very instructional if you want to know how to use the iReal Pro app. And if you just want to listen to me sing, you can listen along there too. Much love. Hope y'all are doing good. And maybe I'll do another tutorial later. Take care.